welcome. My name is Miriam. For today's yin practice, we want to target the deep connective tissue, the fascia, in our body at different areas. So we're working from all the way top to bottom, and we want to simply release tension in our body and feel more lightness, that we have more freedom of movement and release restriction of movement. So while we are opening our body up and working on stretching our body, we want to get to the bottom of it, why it is so important to stress and stimulate the deep connective tissue, the fascia. I wouldn't say stretch, because we're not really stretching the fascia. We just want to prevent that the deep connective tissue goes into a state of contraction, so we're working against that. And we will also talk a little bit about why the fascia, or in which ways the fascia can affect your body. For today's practice, you need one block and one blanket, or if you don't have a blanket, you also can take a big towel. If you don't have a block, then just use a firm book. That will do as well. And then we take our block, or you can take the folded blanket, and you just simply sit on it to elevate your spine and to take the pressure off the lower back. And then just rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. Just rebound up through your core and elongate your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Now lift your sternum, broaden across your chest, roll your shoulders back and down. Bringing the awareness now to your neck. Your length, the back of your neck as you tilt the tip of the nose slightly down towards your breastbone. Crown of the head is lifting skywards. And then from here, you just simply begin to rotate your neck. Do it very slowly and with awareness. And you can do full range movement to the front, to the side, maybe just half range of movement to the back. Some people feel a bit uncomfortable when they move their head all the way back, because they're compressing some arteries which are feeding the brain. So if this is the case, then don't go back so far, or maybe you just make a half circle from right to left shoulder. But keep your spine long and your chest lifted, and just feel your way through the movement. Notice how your neck feels today, the sides of your neck, the vertebra in your cervical spine, and then change direction. Next time the chin is coming towards the chest, you stay there, you giraffe your neck forward and just lift your head back up to center. Now from here, you come off your block, take the block aside, and then take your blanket, open the blanket, and just kneel on it. So we just have a little bit of a padding underneath our knees. Have your knees about hip width apart, your hips above your knees, and come down onto your forearms. So we want to come into a pose which is called puppy pose or anahata asana, where we're working on the shoulders and our upper body. So we first invite a little bit of movement into our spine, especially our thoracic spine, and then we will hold the pose for 3 minutes. So what you do now is you stretch your right arm forward, and then your left arm. So you keep your hips here above your knees. Your hands can be shoulder width apart, or you can take your hands wider. You can be on your fingertips or flat palm. Now that's all up to you. Now from here, with an inhale, you pull your navel in, you round your spine, you take chin to chest. And then exhale, allow your chest and your heart to melt closer to the floor. Let's do this a few times. Inhale. Engage your core, tuck your tailbone, round your spine. And then exhale, allow your chest and your heart to melt. And again, inhale. And exhale, soften your heart towards the earth. Let's do one more. Inhale. And then exhale. And your elbows, they can rest your forearms on the floor. If that's more comfortable for you, you can rest your forehead. Now for some of you, if you need a little bit more support, you could use your block here, medium setting, and just rest your chest, or low setting here on the block. Or some of you might feel that you want to rest your forehead on a block. And if it feels really uncomfortable to rest your forehead down, you can turn your head to the side. So we will stay here for 3 minutes. And after 1.5 minutes, I will tell you so you can turn your head towards the other side. So just feel your heart melting closer towards the ground. Your sit bones, they reach up. If you feel too much compression for your lower back, then you can pull the navel a little bit in to engage your core and to protect the lower back. You can rest your arms can be relaxed. You can change the angle between your hands. Some people might feel quite stuck and compressed in the shoulders, so just make this pose work for you. There's no need to rest the chin. If you are quite flexible, you can do so. But if that creates too much strain on your cervical spine, on your neck, then turn head to the side or rest your forehead. Now feel a stretch through your shoulders. We're extending also our thoracic spine. Just breathing deeply. Now for some of you, if you feel, oh, that's quite strenuous with your arms straight, know that you have the option that you also can bend your forearms and just rest the forehead here on the back of your hands. If you turn the head to one side, then now is the time to turn your head to the other side to stay balanced in your neck. Now the fascia, the deep connective tissue, is defined as a sheet or band of fibrous connective tissues that is connecting and separating and binding muscles, organs, bones and tissues in your body. And this deep connective tissue is really everywhere in your body, from just underneath the skin to really the deepest layers in your body. And this deep connective tissue we need to work and to stimulate in a little bit of a different way than the muscles. So what we do in yin yoga is that we apply long hold static stress. So we're coming into a pose until we feel the sensations in the target area. So this is here the upper body, the shoulders. And then we will linger here for a while, for a couple of minutes, depends on the pose, how long, and on the intention of the class. And then we just simply become still and allow the pose to do the work for us. Last few breaths in this shape. And then very slowly pull the navel in, come up, and we descend our hips back and come into a child's pose. Now you can rest the forehead on the back of your hands, or you take the arms out to the side. Or maybe you want to keep the arms stretched out to the front. Knees can be closed or slightly open. Again, make yourself comfortable. Just resting here for a few breaths. from here, just come back up. And now we want to open our knees a little bit wider. So you can open the mat width apart or even beyond your mat. If you need to open your blanket to have a little bit more padding underneath your knees, then just feel free to open up your blanket. So for the next pose, we're coming into a child's pose with our knees wide to target the groins, inner thighs. But we also want to target here the side of the body as we're coming into a lateral flexion, into a side bend, working into the obliques, also into the lower back here, the quadratus lumborum, here a big muscle on each side of the lumbar spine to release some tension from the tissues there. So what you walk, you stretch your arms, you crawl your fingers away from you, and then you walk your hands over towards the right side. You also could use your block here if you wish to. Take the hands on the block, or you can rest the forehead on a block. Be somewhere where you feel a stretch in the target area, and it will be your inner groins, inner thighs. Maybe if you're quite tight in your lower back, you will feel it there as well, and through your side body. So you need to crawl your fingers away from you, to get this stretch here through your side body. You can turn your head, looking towards the right. But again, your arms also can rest on the floor. Yin practice is a little bit more passive, not so active. But again, you can choose, it's your practice, if you want to invite a little bit more yang energy, or if you want to be more yin as you just relax completely down. Wherever you get a good stretch for your body. I will stay 2 minutes on each side, 1 more minute here. Just breathing into the left side of your spine, into the left side of your body. And allowing your breath to flow effortlessly in and out through your nose. Every exhale is an opportunity to let go of something you don't need anymore. Something which is not serving you any longer. And then slowly we transition as we walk the hands over now towards the left side. And again, we will be here for 2 minutes. Now, I mentioned that it is so important to stress and stimulate our deep connective tissue, the fascia, as the fascia can affect our body in different ways. When the fascia gets distorted, it can cause pain in our body and discomfort and restriction of movement. And some quite common conditions you might have heard of are, for example, IT-band syndrome or frozen shoulder, plantar fasciitis. All these disorders are caused by distorted fascia in your body. So we need to make sure our fascia is healthy and it's not distorted. That's why it's so important to move and to stretch your body in all different kind of directions. Maybe after a while you can go even deeper into the side bend if you wish to. Notice where do you feel that most? More through your inner thighs, lower back, or side body, or everywhere? We all have a different bone structure. So what I might feel is not the same what you might feel in this pose. Last few breaths. Okay, and then slowly find your way back to center. Take your hands here underneath your chest, lean forward, and slowly bring your legs, your knees back together. You can remove or leave the blanket, up to you. We will lie down now on our belly, coming into a back bend called Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath your shoulders to begin with. So just see how that feels on your lower back here. Now the target area for this pose will be the rectus abdominis, so here the front area of our body we want to stretch, but we are also compressing the bones in our lumbar spine here. So a healthy compression, a moderate compression is good for our body, for our bones, to stimulate the cells in the bones so they grow thicker and stronger. But you don't want to feel like a pinching or burning sensation. So it will be quite different for everyone how deep you can go into a back bend. So some people, you might not feel anything. Like for me, I don't feel anything right here. I don't feel a stretch here through my rectus, and I also feel not compression in my lower back. So I have to come higher up. Maybe that's you as well. You can come up here on a block like this. Or like this. So it depends when the spinous processes are hitting each other when you are in compression in your lumbar spine. And some people have more space, so they can go into a deeper back bend. Some other people, they have lesser space between their spinous processes, and they're just hitting compression earlier. So if you find this is too much for you, what you also can do is you slide your elbows further forward. Maybe you're here today. If your head is heavy, maybe you rest here your head into your hands, or you use your block. Rest your forehead. So also you can play with your legs. See how does it feel if your legs are closed or if you open your legs. So most people feel a little bit more compression in the lower back and sacroiliac joint when you close your legs. And you might feel more freedom when you open your legs. So when you come higher up, maybe you want to open your legs more. So this is another option coming into, it's called seal pose. So you can take your hands a little bit wider, maybe turn your fingers out to the side to get a nicer stretch here for the front of your body. You can sink into your shoulders, that's fine. You can stagger here the bones on top of each other. Again, you can just, if you want to release with the back of the neck, maybe take chin towards the chest, or you just look straight ahead, whatever feels comfortable, okay? So head and feet, it's basically just decoration. The target area is here the lower back, and also here your abdominals, the front of the body. Once you've found a workable edge for you, you just stay still. Focus on deep breathing. The fascia, when it's getting tight and when it starts to stick together, it also can restrict nerves or even block off a nerve signal. Then our autonomic nervous system, so that's the nervous system which is controlling the function of the body without a conscious thought, like breathing, for example, and it's directly connected to the fascial system of our body. So again, we want to make sure our fascia is healthy and it's not like sticking together, because when we are not stretching, our body starts to dry out, so the fascia gets more brittle and dense. So we want to lubricate also the fascia, so that the layers can properly slide against each other as we are stretching our body, as we are stimulating and stressing the fascia. Staying here for another 5 deep breaths. Keep your legs, your lower back, everything relaxed. And then very slowly come all the way down. And you just rest here, forehead on the back of your hands. And keep your lower back completely relaxed. And you can stay here just in stillness and observe the effects of the pose we just did for your lower back. You might feel a little bit of a achiness in your lower back, or a little bit fragile. That's normal when we just come out of a back bend. If you feel like you need to move a little bit, you can bend your legs and maybe move your legs a little bit from right to left if that feels nice. Or you just remain in stillness, up to you. Just try to relax your entire body. Don't think so much, just relax. Okay, and then from here, push the floor away, descend your hips back, just for 3 breaths or so, releasing through the lower back into a child's pose. You can wiggle a bit from right to left. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, you just roll up to sitting. Now from here, sit down, stretch your legs out to the front, and I would recommend that you take your blanket, you fold it thick, so some of you might need to sit on it. So from here, we're coming into a forward fold called caterpillar in yin yoga. So it's a straight leg forward fold, and the target areas, again, we have more target areas, not just one, will be the hamstrings, the back of the legs, but also here along the spine. This area is called thoracolumbar. And to target this area and to release the tension from the ligaments here, which is also fascia along the spine, you need to round your spine. You need to relax the muscles, okay? So some of you might be here because your hamstrings are tight, your glutes are tight, you have more of a posterior pelvic tilt, and the pelvis and the glutes is pulling you backwards, okay? If this is the case, I would recommend you fold your blanket thick like this. And you sit on it. It helps to hinge from the hips, and then for some of you it will already feel quite easy or easier to fold forward from here, okay? If this is still a bit difficult and you need to release your hamstrings because they're really tight, then maybe you take your block and you place it underneath, so that the knees are a little bit bent and you're here. If you don't have any issues with your neck, then just drop your chin towards the chest. That is increasing the traction along the entire back body. You will feel the difference if you lift your head, engage your muscles, or if you just drop the chin towards the chest. So you will feel more stretch along the spine. If you have any issues with your neck, then I would recommend have some support underneath your forehead, or you also, if you need a little bit higher, you could place the block here on your shin bones. So again, you find a workable edge for your bone structure. For some of you, if you're quite flexible, what you also could do is you elevate your heels, and maybe you're here. It's okay to hold on to something, your ankles or your feet or whatever, but it's not the goal to reach your feet, okay? But some people just like to hold on something, that's totally fine. And then you basically just surrender and melt into this shape. So you want to feel the dull, achy sensation, the traction along your back body, and the back of your legs, your lower back, along the spine, back of the neck. Now keep your shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath in and a long, relaxed breath out. Just surrendering into this shape. Give yourself the permission to just let go. And there are also veins and arteries running through our deep connective tissue, through our fascia. So again, if the fascia sticks together, it's getting tight or distorted, you might cause a restriction like a knot in a garden hose. And that means that there's poor blood supply, or poor blood flow. So less nutrients get delivered to your blood cells. Now also less oxygen gets delivered to your cells. So we want to make sure that everything can flow smoothly, that there are no restrictions, that there are no knots. Just feel every passing exhalation that you maybe drop a little bit deeper into this forward fold. Now we will be here for 1 more minute. Also keep your jaw unhinged, your face soft. Avoid pulling you into a deeper version of this position. Just try to let go as much as you can. And then slowly, no rush, coming all the way back up. And then from here, for our rebound, you will lie down on your back. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a sigh out through your mouth. Just notice how it feels for you to come out of a deep forward fold. In our rebound, we're just allowing the ligaments, the tendons, the joint capsules, all these denser tissues to slowly unwind again. The fascia, the deep connective tissue, has less blood supply than the muscles, so they just need a little bit more time. Feel any sensations in your body, tingling, twitching, warm, cold sensation, especially in the areas we have just worked, on the back of your legs, the back, along the spine. And then from here, you bend your knees. Now we're targeting here the area of our outer hips, our outer thigh. So for that, you take your left ankle here on top of your right thigh. And you can lift head and shoulders so that you can see your legs. And we call this figure 4 pose, or thread the needle, as we're threading our left hand here through the gap, right hand on the outside, and a few options here. So you could interlace the fingers behind your thigh. So interlace somewhere where you're able to relax head and shoulders comfortably down. So if you find your head is tilting backwards like this and it feels really uncomfortable, then take your blanket underneath the back of your head. Like this. If you're more receptive, maybe you can interlace the fingers here around your shin bone. So keep your left foot a little bit flexed to protect your knee. And for more stretch, you can pull the leg, here the right leg towards you, and move a little bit the left knee away from you. So you create a slight resistance, but you want to keep the muscles here on your buttocks, on your outer thigh quite relaxed. So some of you might feel, oh, that's not enough stretch. You could take the block here around your shin bone and maybe hold the edges of the block to press the leg here closer towards you. And then once you're happy in your shape and you feel the stretch in the target area here on your outer hip, again, you just try to relax. You can close your eyes, bringing the awareness to the area you stretch, so your outer hip here, your glutes. Especially as women, we sometimes have this problem of cellulitis, right, in the thighs and our buttocks. So cellulitis, by the way, is also, there are different reasons, of course. It could be genetic or your nutrition, if you're not exercising, different reasons. But one reason, like for cellulitis, is also due to unhealthy fascia, distorted fascia. So when the fascia starts to glue and to stick together, it can pull the skin where it sticks together a little bit inward, and once the fat is pushing through, it creates this ugly cellulitis. So one more reason to do your stretches, do your yin practice or yoga practice. Just for the remaining time, stay as relaxed as you can. Now also, you can try to shift your weight a little bit from right to left and see if this is changing the stretch, if you get maybe a better stretch. If you shift maybe a bit towards the right or towards the left. Always be very curious in your poses and experiment. There is not really right or wrong. The alignment, there's no perfect alignment. How can there be a perfect alignment if we have also different bones and a different body structure, bone structure? But we can work with target areas and make sure that we don't have pain, like sharp pain, burning sensation, any stabbing sensations in some parts of our body or in the knees, so where we're harming our tissues. Just a few more breaths on this side. Okay, and then slowly take your time, bring the feet back down towards the ground. And then from here we will do the other side, and then we have a rest. So now you take right ankle on top of the left thigh. Inhale, lift head and shoulders so you can see your legs. Again, you thread your arm here through. You can interlace behind your thigh, around the shin bone. You could use here your blanket underneath the back of your head as support if you are more receptive. Maybe you want to work here with a block around your shin bone, and again we will stay here for 3 minutes. And make sure there is no pain in your knees in this position. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your neck in natural extension, so slightly take chin towards the chest, your neck long. Maybe that side feels a bit different, just observe. Yeah, again, you can shift your weight a little bit from right to left, see how that feels. Be always somewhere where it's easy to breathe for you. You're able to relax into the shape. You feel the sensations here in the target area on the outer hip. Every exhale, you're unburdening yourself of tension. Again, Yin Yoga is a more slow, passive practice where we are looking more inward, taking the gaze more inward. So we want to notice what are we feeling in our body, what's going on in our body. It's sometimes easier when you close your eyes to blend out any distractions from outside. Start to explore your inner world. Like an astronaut wants to explore outer space, as yogis we want to become very interested to explore our inner world. Last few breaths in this shape. And then slowly, slowly release. Just stretch your legs out along the floor. Rest your hands wherever it feels comfortable, or where your body is asking for more attention or support. Can be on your belly, on your chest, or on your heart. You can also keep your knees bent, maybe knees, inner thighs touching, opening your feet mat width apart, so there's no effort in holding your legs up. Can we just be here for a few breaths in our rebound? Just feel maybe the energy flow in your hips. Feel how the circulation has improved here around your hips, your outer thighs. That's in the rebound, in stillness, where we are most receptive to sensations, to the energy flow in our body. So we want to use this time to just observe and to listen to our body. And then from here, slowly hug your knees into your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. And then roll to one side and slowly come up. And now from here, we will lie down on our belly again. Have a block close, just in case you need, and maybe also the blanket as a little bit of a padding underneath the knee. So you lie down on your belly. So we have been here before in Sphinx pose, okay? So now from here, we're coming into a pose, it's called cat-tail pose. It's a little bit more complex, and we're working quite a lot of different areas in the body. So it's a twist, it's a backbend. We are also opening through the shoulder. Want to release tension through our hip flexors, through our thighs. So we're working different areas of the body, and I will guide you in step by step, okay? So from here you take the left leg out to the side, so knee is here in line with the hip, just roughly to begin with. Then bring the attention now to your right leg, and you tuck your toes under, so your right leg is your tail, and you walk your tail out to the right side as far as you can. And this is quite important, okay? So walk it out, 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 and then from here you just rest your head here into your hand, like lying comfortably on the beach. And then from here you want to bend your tail here, and with your left hand you hold your foot. So there are different options here. It depends which target area you want to focus on. So if you want to stretch here more through your quadricep, through the front of the thigh, you can pull here the heel towards your buttocks. Some of you might work more through the front of the shoulder, release tension in the front of the shoulder, then you can flex the foot and you resist your ankle here into your hand, so you stretch here the front of your shoulder. If you want to go more into a twist and a back bend, you also could use here the block here underneath your head as some support, and just come all the way down, and you open your chest here more towards the ceiling. Now maybe you're here, here. So totally up to you. If you don't know what to do, then just try, experiment. Again, see how it feels. Again, we are compressing the bones in our lumbar spine. We're opening here through shoulder and chest. So if you are quite open and flexible in the front of the hip and your quad, you might not feel a big stretch. Also, if you pull the heel towards your buttocks, but if you're tight, you might feel a good stretch there. Again, so it depends. And then once you found your shape, you feel comfortable in, again, you can close your eyes. You could also stretch here your leg out, your left leg, if that feels all right for you. And then we just simply linger here for a little bit. Also twisting our spine. Now the condition also of your skin can be affected by the state of your fascia. There are two proteins which are quite essential for a youthful, healthy and beautiful skin, and this is elastin and collagen. And these two proteins, they get carried through the blood to your skin. And when the fascia is distorted, or when there's a restriction, when it sticks together, it limits the supply of these proteins. Now this can cause a decrease in cell turnover, which is responsible for our beautiful, healthy, shiny skin, or this beautiful glow we all want to maintain in our skin. So again, the fascia can affect your body in so many different ways. Your skin, cellulitis. Remember, arteries and veins are running through the fascia as well. Nerves, you can restrict nerves. Also quite common thing is piriformis syndrome, when this is a quite deep muscle here in our hip, when the muscle, this piriformis muscle, the small muscle gets too tight, it can compress here, the tissues get too tight on the sciatica nerve, so we feel pain all the way down the leg. And just in generally, when your fascia is distorted, restricted, starts to stick, to glue together, it just can cause pain in your body and discomfort, and you feel just restricted in your movement. Now very slowly you release your foot down and you come all the way back onto your forearms, Just be here for a few breaths, and then we repeat here our backbend twist shoulder opener on the other side, our cat tail pose. If you need to, you use your blanket on the other side. Now you bend your right leg out to the side. Now tuck the toes under, walk your tail out to the left. Walk, 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 walk. And then from here, you just rest here, your head into your hand. And then from here, so I also show you, I don't want to turn it back to you, but I want to show you from this side so you can see. Again, I will explain different options to you. So one option would be you pull the heel here towards your butt to get more stretch here through your quadricep. Yeah. Or you press here your ankle into your hand and you open here more through your chest, through your shoulder. Again, you can lie all the way down and spin your chest more up towards the sky, so you come more into a back bend and into a twist. So you can be here as well. Now wherever you feel comfortable, just stay there, close your eyes, and allow again the pose to do the work for you. Now in yoga we work a lot with gravity. And then make sure, are there any areas of your body where you're still gripping or holding? If yes, then just allow your out breath to soften these areas. Now also our deep connective tissue and fascia is responding to stress. So if you are quite stressed, your fascia starts to restrict, to tense up. And that's when you feel, oh, I have a stiff neck, shoulders. Or any other parts of the body. Even the lower back. Sometimes when we have lower back pain, it's often also a cause of stress, because the fascia just starts to contract. Here for another 30 seconds. And slowly release the foot, come all the way back down. And just rest for a moment here, forehead on the back of your hands. Sending your breath deep down into your lumbar spine, into your sacroiliac joint. Allow the pelvis to just be heavy. There's nothing to do or where to go. And then from here, push the floor away from you. And again, just a brief child's pose to stretch out the lower back. And then from here, the last pose we do. So I told you we're working all the way from top to bottom. So now we also want to stretch our toes, the sole of the feet, working into the ankles. So what do? I show you from the side. So you tuck all 10 toes under. So allow the little party also to join the, allow the little toe also to join the party here as you tuck it under. And then you just sit back. So for some of you, maybe you're here. Or to make it a bit easier, you could take your block underneath your knees. So this is easier than being here, or maybe you use a little bit of a higher setting. Maybe just here 1 minute, not too long. And I know that this is maybe a bit uncomfortable for some of you, but you also have fascia in your toes. It's everywhere in your body. So sometimes we just think about, oh, I just need to stretch my shoulders and my lower back and my hips. Yeah, you also have fingers, neck, your head, your feet, everything in your body needs attention. Just allow this to marinate here. Again, if it's getting really unbearable, then just come out, lean forward, release your feet. No need to torture yourself. Okay, this is enough. And then from here, slowly leaning forward and then move your toes. Maybe you want to drum top of your feet into the ground to release a little bit. And then we finally move into our resting pose, Shavasana. Yeah. Favorite pose of everyone, nearly of everyone. So you can take your blanket underneath the back of your head if you wish to. Just lie down, your knees can be bent, maybe inner knees, thighs touching, especially if your lower back feels tender, or you just stretch your legs along the floor, whatever feels comfortable to you. Shavasana is also a pose, and it's also very important. It's where you reflect, you really allow the nervous system to calm down. Let go of all the effort now. Feel your bones heavy, your muscles relaxed, and your skin soft. Just melting into the ground beneath you. With every exhalation, the body is expanding in all directions. Every inhale, you create more space in your body. Each exhale is an opportunity to let go, just relax. And slowly begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle fingers, your toes, and then hug your knees into your chest, rock a bit from side to side, massage your lower back. And then roll to one side. And slowly, with the help of your hand, just find your way back up to sitting. And bring your palms together, connecting right and left side of your body. And showing some gratitude for yourself, showing up on the mat today, and for all the efforts you put into your practice today. Namaste.